As we say farewell to December and farewell to 2023, it's time to look ahead. To look ahead into 2024. January of 2024 to be precise, and have a look at what is in store for us with regards to releases. So let's do it, shall we? So hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Yes, and welcome to 2024 and what's coming out. Now I'm going to change things up a little bit in that I'm going to start including stuff from Germany and, you know, Italy, France, that sort of thing, where there's anything of interest coming out. Now this isn't a comprehensive list of what is out, just a sort of shot at what's coming out, a look at what's coming out, some of the bigger releases, that sort of a thing, those that you may know, because obviously there is a wealth of stuff getting released still. We're getting an influx of stuff coming, and that's great in itself, although sales numbers are very low individually for individual numbers. And this is the reason why you see so many titles getting released now, because it's far easier and cheaper for a company to produce a lot of back titles along with their main titles to try and generate that cash, and it keeps the cost down because the cost of the materials is far less when you buy on bulk. So they look at other films, and this is why we're getting far more releases, because the numbers are dwindling on sales, most definitely, and they've got to try and stay relevant, and this is how they do it. So yeah, we're going to get into this, starting with January the 1st. Yeah, January the 1st, this is the first release day. New Year's Day, Monday. But there's nothing out. I tell a lie, there's a few bits out. There's 4 or 5 titles, older films that I wouldn't even know what they are, to be honest with you. Not sort of stuff that I pick up, most definitely. You do have Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. Now this isn't the Daryl Hannah version. No, this is the original version of the film, getting a Blu-ray release on that day. So there is that, if that's the sort of film that interests you. Not only that though, this week, not on the 1st, but a couple of days later, over in Germany, you do see the release of Exorcist the Believer. Yes, the new Exorcist film that came out a few months ago. We also get it in January, and we'll come to that down the line. But Germany are getting that. Now, if you never ordered from Germany before, or France, or Italy, anywhere like that, they're a goldmine of unreleased titles that we don't get over here, get Blu-ray releases in some of these territories. Germany is particularly good, so just jump over to Amazon Germany. In your Amazon page you can actually change the country of origin that you're looking at, and you'll find just a plethora of titles that we don't get here. So yeah, so they're getting Exorcist a little bit before us. Now Exorcist, not a film that I really want to pick up. I did watch it. It wasn't great, but there we go. So let's jump a week to January 8th. Now January 8th, we start seeing some of these bigger releases start coming our way. Now this is a quieter time of year, believe it or not, for releases, because the summer's over, and that ramp up of releases for Christmas, etc., that sort of a thing that you get to try and get people to buy for presents, all comes to an end, and we kind of feel a bit of a lull kicking in, and this is what we are seeing. But January the 8th, we get Titans of Cult, Gladiator. Now this is kind of a renewed Titans of Cult. They are different than what they were doing before. Different in the sense that they are now far more expensive. You have a £50 set, I believe it is, and a £100 set for this film, Gladiator. Now, I wasn't going to delve into these, but I have pre-ordered the lesser of the two, not the £100 set. The reason I've ordered it is because I had a voucher for Christmas, a gift voucher. I thought to myself, do you know what? I ain't got no physical media for Christmas. I don't generally get physical media for Christmas. Thought I'd buy myself, I thought I'd delve into this one just to, yeah, why not? Do you know what I mean? Buy myself something nice, and I could say, I got that with that. So yeah, so I'm going for the lesser one. Obviously, this is ordered on Amazon. Whether it arrives or not is another thing. It could be another Exorcist situation. Speaking of The Exorcist, this is when we get Exorcist Believer. On this day, you get a steelbook, there's a 4K, there's a Blu-ray, there's a DVD, all that sort of thing. Like I said, not a film that I am going to pick up because I didn't particularly like it, so let's steer clear of that. Although I will be interested to see where the series go if it continues. I don't know what they can do with it, but there we go. You know, and then we have The Jester, another horror film. A few horror films today, actually. The Jester. Now, I started watching this because I quite liked. There was a scene I saw online. I saw a scene where there were some coppers in like a little supermarket, and a girl, and the Jester was behind them, and all this sort of a thing. I saw that. I thought, oh, that looks intriguing. However, I went and started watching the film, and I subsequently switched it off. I couldn't deal with it. It wasn't good at all. So, for me, not a film for me. And then we have Pet Sematary. Is this Bloodlines? This is the sequel movie to Pet Sematary. Again, it's a film I watched. It's a film I reviewed. Right now, it's a film that I cannot remember anything about. Seriously, I cannot remember hardly anything about. I can't remember anything about this film at all. This happens a lot now, and this shows the impact that films are having. Zero. So a film has zero impact. I'm not getting it. So there we go. Now, also, we have listed for today, but I know that it's not going to be out until the end of the month. So, no, I'm going to leave that until we get to January 29th. I believe that's when we're actually getting it, but I could be wrong. We'll talk about it then. But over in Germany, let's jump to Germany again. On the 11th, same week, different release day, we have Five Nights at Freddy's getting a release over there. Yeah, before we get it, we are getting it later this month, and we will come into that as well. But yeah, again, Five Nights at Freddy's. I watched the film. It made me appreciate the Nicolas Cage one, Willy's Wonderland, far more. That's all I can say. Five Nights at Freddy's, not making the collection for me. But one that is coming out in Germany, and there's no release date for it over here, which is such a shame. So I will import this, and that is The Last Voyage of the Demeter, or the Demeter. And it's based upon a story within Bram Stoker's Dracula, a chapter within that, about the ship that brings Dracula from over there to over here. And I thoroughly enjoyed this film. I thought it was maybe a little bit too long in what it done, but I liked it. I liked it a lot. Now, it's only a Blu-ray release. Whether a 4K will follow down the line, I don't know, but I will import the Blu-ray. If a 4K follows afterwards, I won't upgrade. I'll just keep it as it is. You know, we're in a position now in as collectors where everything's being upgraded to 4K, because this is what, again, this is a ploy for them to try and make money before the death of physical media, to try and get us all to upgrade. But do we need to upgrade? Do we really need to upgrade? I don't think we need to upgrade everything. But there we go. So let's jump to January the 15th. Now, January the 15th, it sees a couple of big releases. But before that, we have Mean Streets. Mean Streets gets a 4K release. I've never seen Mean Streets. It doesn't appeal. I don't know why, but maybe one for you. But we're getting The Creator. Yes, that sci-fi film that came out not too long ago. The Creator. Feels like this has come around to physical media very, very quickly. Now, again, this is a film that I attempted to watch, and I just couldn't get into it. The production values were great, that sort of thing. It looked good, but it looked murky. There was nothing visually appealing about the film whatsoever. And what I was watching just bored me. It bored the crap out of me, and it's a film that I switched off, unfortunately. Maybe I just wasn't in the mood, I don't know, which is such a shame because it's original science fiction, new science fiction, and we need a place for new stories. But even for me watching it, I didn't get into it. Maybe that's just a one-off for it, I don't know. But then, you know, just a little aside, I started watching Rebel Moon. I thought I'd watch Rebel Moon. I saw the beginning, I fell asleep for an hour and 20 minutes. I woke up, I saw the end. I had no need to go back and watch that middle segment of the film. It's just a Zack Snyder passion project, nothing more. But then also on January 15th, we get The Mandalorian Season 2. Finally, we've got Season 1 released not long ago. Lovely steelbook, beautiful art on it. It's only a 4K steelbook that we're getting released. And again, I've said this before and I will reiterate it here. I think it's a disgusting release strategy because there are many a person out there that would buy it on DVD, on Blu-ray, on standard 4K, who probably, you know, are not going to want to pick up a steelbook priced at £45. Whether these will follow on down the line, I don't know. I'm hoping, I'd like to think that they would, but the fact that the Marvel and the Star Wars stuff are just getting these premium releases, I think is somewhat messed up for collectors who don't collect steelbooks, and people who, you know, let's be honest, who don't have the finances to fund such extravagant purchases. You know, I think it's really poor on Disney on their part releasing like this. Honestly, I do. So then January 22nd. Okay, and we get Carrie, 1976 version in 4K. Yeah, fantastic. Not one for me though. I won't be picking that up. We get 2 Mondo releases now, and these are Mondo releases that have come out before, and that is V for Vendetta and Batman vs Superman, Dawn of Justice. Now what these are again cash grabs. It's the same steelbooks as what was released prior with a Blu-ray inside. They're just being re-released with a 4K disc inside. I do have the Batman vs Superman one on Blu-ray, but I do have Batman vs Superman on 4K as well. So again, these are not things I need to pick up. Even 4K V for Vendetta, I have it on Titans of Cult release, which is a very nice release actually. Again, not something that I need to get that week, so a dead week. But over in Germany on this very week, we get 2 different versions of Supergirl in media book form. This is on the 25th these come out. 2 different media book versions of Supergirl. Yes, that might be for someone. You might think it's for me. I done a watch party with Gareth over at Video Tasties of Supergirl, and it was one of the single most difficult things I've ever had to sit through because Gareth was there on it. Jokes aside, it was a difficult film to sit through again now. It wasn't great. It's not a great film by any means, so, you know, do I need a media book for it? No, I don't think so. And then we have Freelance, and this is out on the 26th in Germany. Freelance is a film that I actually quite enjoyed. It stars John Cena, and I forget the actress's name, but she was in Community. She originally meant to be She-Hulk, or her name was bandied around for She-Hulk before the actress who got She-Hulk came about. And I thoroughly enjoyed this film. It's very much just a sort of light-hearted action fest kind of film, much akin to Lost City that came out the year before, but just far better. I just enjoyed it. I think John Cena's got good on-screen presence, and he's got good chemistry with the actress in it, whose name I just cannot remember. It's eluding me, but yeah, definitely one that I will import from Germany. That, along with The Last Voyage of the Demeter, they will both get imported. So then we jump to January the 29th, and again there's a few bits out on this day. So this is the day that we actually get here in the UK Five Nights at Freddy's. You've got your steelbook, you've got your 4K, you've got your Blu-ray, you've got your DVD, that sort of thing. Like I said, not a film for me. I didn't enjoy it. And then for, again, horror fans, The Terrifier, The Bloody Duo, the 2 films in the Terrifier franchise, I believe they're doing a third, is getting a steelbook release. And it's quite a nice looking steelbook. But again, not for me. I've not seen the Terrifier films. Should I delve into them one day? Should I give them a watch? Let me know in the comments down below. We also get like a standard 4K release of All Quiet on the Western Front. I think it's a steelbook as well. I may be wrong with that. Obviously we had it out before. It came in a digibook version, but now we're getting this. All Quiet on the Western Front was one of my favourite films of last year, 2022. It was a very, very good war film. I loved it. Then we're getting the Criterion and releasing Thelma and Louise, and you get a 4K version and you get a Blu-ray version, and I'm up for that one. I am up for that. Thelma and Louise, classic film, fantastic film. That will be one that I'm picking up. And we're going to round things off now with one release that I recently picked up as a steelbook, and it is Alligator. The movie Alligator from the early 1980s. Alligator and Alligator 2 from, I believe it comes at us from, is it Arrow Video? I think, or was it 101? I can't remember who's releasing this. God, my mind today is just off. But anyway, Alligator is getting a release, the 2 films. The first film is on 4K, the second film is in there, Alligator 2, The Mutation, on Blu-ray. Now, even though I've got the steelbook that has both these films in, I will be buying this again, because I love the first Alligator film. I really like that movie. I did review it some time ago on the channel. It's a film that I grew up with as a kid, and I loved it. Anything that's an animal run amok kind of a thing, I like. And Alligators in the Sewers, fantastic. Alligator 2, The Mutation, I think that was a straight-to-video film at the time. That's one that I haven't seen for some considerable amount of time. I haven't rewatched that one yet. I really should. But yeah, I do like the first Alligator film. I think it's great, in a kind of Jaws rip-off kind of a way. It came on the back of it. So I thought that was the last one, but it's not, because if you remember, back when I was talking about January the 8th, I was about to mention a title and said no, I believe it is coming out later on down the line. Now, this film is listed for January the 8th online, but when you go on to Amazon, etc., it's listed for the 29th. So I'm going with the 29th, so it may be wrong. But this is for the 4K steelbook version of Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1. Now, Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1, it's a DC animated movie. Now, the DC animated universe of films, and there's been a lot of them over the past few years, very interconnected, very good actually. These are all coming to an end. They're all finishing. The DC animated universe is done, over, finished, kaput. And it is ending with Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1 and Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2. And like I said, this is a 4K Blu-ray steelbook. Whether we're getting other releases of it, I'm sure we are at some point. But anyway, so that's out. Now, like I said, it's all coming to an end. This is the finale for it. Crisis on Infinite Earths is a great way to finish up proceedings, much like Flashpoint or something like that. Because it was the end in the comics in the 80s when DC Comics realised that there was so much clutter within their continuity that they needed to start it all over again. They'd done a Crisis story which just threw everything together, killed off characters, Supergirl was killed off, and started things anew. And yeah, so it's a great way to end that. There will be other animated DC films afterwards, but where James Gunn is taking DC is that everything is interconnected. The animated films, the games, all this sort of stuff has a connection to his universe of films and the bigger picture. So it's not the last ever DC animated film or films, first part of these 2 films. It's just the end of the animated universe as we know it, and then we will get stuff down the line at some point to continue that. So yeah, and that is one that most definitely I am getting, because I have got them all of them. So it's nice to finish that collection off as well. Yeah, and why not? That. So anyway, so there's just a quick look at some of what's out in Germany, in the UK, and like I said, going forward I will include more of Europe and European releases, because like I said, it's a goldmine over there. It's a wealth of titles in Germany, Italy, France that you just don't get released over here on Blu-ray. You know, we might get the DVD version, but we won't get a Blu-ray. I mean, I can reach for one now, and I'm not sure where I got this one from ultimately, but yeah, Cyrano. And I like this film, it was great. And this is one of those ones that in this country we only got on DVD. Man Called Otto. I had to get the German version because Tom Hanks, we didn't get that. And that made my top 10 films of this year. We didn't get that released over here on anything but DVD. But you go abroad and you can find them at decent prices as well. So there we go. Anyway, so that's it. I mean, what more is there to say? 2024 ahead of us. I'm excited to see what 2024 brings. Yeah, and see you 4 weeks time, or however long it is, or are we looking to February? See you then. Take care all, and goodbye.